Hello, YouTube. This is episode 2 of Compound Fracture Plays Cataclysm Rubberneck Edition. Yes, that's right. Our neck is made of rubber, which means that hopefully it will not be snapped nearly as easily as it was last time. Bone necks do tend to be snapped. It's a crying shame, but we can't ignore reality. We can't live despite our broken neck as much as we'd like to. As much as it would be a much fairer world if we could live with a broken neck, some things just can't be done. So we can cry about it, we can bitch, and we can moan. But in the end, we just have to start again, and again, and again, and again. And we can't salvage any leather. Good job, salvage. Come on, be something used. Oh, that's interesting. There's a stove up here. Okay. Are there items in the stove? No. This would be a really cool place to live if only it was near anything. But it's not. So we should move on as soon as we're done finding stuff to loot. There's a pool cue. We might make something good out of that. Broom, too. Oops. Inventory. Ooh, wine. Let's at least get a little bit drunk. There we go. 3 drinks of wine. I like it. This is a really cool little farm, this winery here. So what can I make out of pool cues? Is it worth making a spear at this point in the game? Probably. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the pool cue for now. We'll go down to the kitchen where there's knives and see what we can do with it. We want cough syrup. Oh, I don't probably need that much cough syrup. We want 1, though. And sleeping pills. Lovely. More soap? Sure. Why not? This is a neat building. I like this building. Okay, so this is where the knives are. Somewhere around here, I think. Here we go. So we can make a simple knife spear very easily. Thanks to that pool cue. We could do it with the broom as well. We could make a forked spear that would not work with a broom, but we just need spikes. We can easily make some spikes, surely. So let's do that. We'll make a forked spear. Yeah, I like it. So first we need a blunt weapon. Well, we can just probably use the pool cue, I suppose. Or can we disassemble things yet? Yes, we can. Deconstruct that. Okay. We need something metal, right? Yeah. Oven, right. Right. Deconstruct that. Now, spike. 3. Perfect. Drop the pool cue for now. Now, forked spear. Done. Use those. And those. Now we'll wield our... Oh, we're already wielding our forked spear. That's a good thing to have, I think. Might as well bring the heating elements. I don't think they're heavy. Nah, they're fine. We do really want to find a permanent base soon. So we're carrying so much with us. That made a very jeans zipper sound. Moonshine, you say? That sounds delicious. How delicious is it, game? Plus 12 joy. Yes, we will take this moonshine and we will cherish it. tools. Pickaxe. Atomic reading light. Oh, that's a great find. Now we will have reading light forever and evermore. Oh, thank you for subbing to the YouTube. I appreciate that. We just started that channel a few days ago, so it has very, very low sub numbers. And it also seems to be buried behind or underneath a lot of medical videos, which is always fun for the not safe for life factor. That's what happens when you name yourself after a gruesome injury, I suppose. Okay, so this is difficult because we really do want this pickaxe. Pickaxes are amazing. We could get into anything with it, but I don't think we can afford to carry it with us at the moment. So I am going to mark it on the map, and we may or may not choose to come back here once we have a vehicle. Okay. The only road that we can now see is to the west, so we will go west. Might as well check out this road, though, and head down it to make sure there aren't any cars. Now that we have this forked spike, we feel a lot better about fighting things without wasting bullets. Yeah, there were no wheels here. There are, however, 2 medium storage batteries in this here hybrid car, so that's interesting. That's really interesting. This is another vehicle I haven't seen before. Something tells me, though, that this is just a new addition to the base game. I wouldn't think Aftershock would have put in a hybrid car, but maybe I'm wrong. We could really use just a bicycle or something. Anything, really, so that we don't have to walk everywhere. Oh, look at this. Ask and ye shall receive. Okay, no driver's seat. No seats, period. We could get a seat out of a different car, though, but what else is it missing? I don't know. I think it's working, actually. That's interesting. So there's like no seats. That's the only thing missing from this car is seats and seat belts. And otherwise it works. Holy cow. Okay. So there was another car back here. So we're going to walk all the way back and try to find a seat. Is that like actually a thing we're going to do? I think so. We'll drop our forked spear, though, because we won't be able to carry both it and a seat. This is quite a thing, like going on a hike to steal a seat out of a car in order to fix another car that needs only a seat. Don't know if I've ever been quite in that spot before. Setting for low latency on Twitch, eh? Isn't that the chat? Are you having latency? Are you getting you know, the, what do you call it? The twirlio of we can't load properly. I'm sending the highest quality possible. Bolt turning. No. Foiled by our lack of a wrench. I have it set to the highest possible quality stream. Like, okay. How do I say that? I have a 6 megabit bit rate set on my OBS stream software. So because I am a very small Twitch channel, I do not have the, Twitch does not transcode my video. So however I send it is the way that you receive it. So that's why it's, for people without great internet connections, it would be very, very laggy for sure. Okay. I really wish we had a wrench. Should probably note this on the map, though. Because Hummers are amazing. If we get a small car, we might want to come back here and then just cannibalize the small car to fix the better one. That's a likely future for us. Giant mosquito is terrifying. Where are you, giant mosquito? Oh, we're walking right towards it. Okay. Let's give it a slightly wider berth. What's in here? Wheels. Interesting. Okay, you know what? Let's take a closer look at this bus. Holy cow. We have a bus. Let there be bus. All right. This is a very awkward vehicle to drive around, but it's a lot better than nothing. That's for sure. How much gas do we have again? Well, 2.4 liters in the tank that's not punctured, so the other tank will be empty very soon, but that one will carry on. This is just a trail and nothing more, so yeah, we will have to turn around here, unfortunately. There's a moose, which makes us very glad that we have a bus. Bus beats moose, after all. Oops. And I went the wrong way. Turned the wrong way. Okay. Left this time. Oh, right. Yeah, the low latency just affects chat. I thought so, but okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. 3 to 4 second latency doesn't seem too bad in my mind, but there's always room for improvement. So when I'm done streaming today, I will look into that. That looks like it might be a body site. It is a body site. Doesn't have anything too useful. Tool belt's pretty good, though. So where's the tool belt? Headlamp's okay, too. That's where we want to go. So let's see what we can do about not stopping and just... Oh, we just ran over the stuff. Oops. I misjudged that slightly. That's still worth grabbing. The headlamp's almost in perfect shape, and the tool belt is still in perfect shape. There we go. Those are the two things we were interested in. Let's wear the tool belt, I suppose, but shouldn't be driving too fast. Experimental mutant. Okay, I'm going to look at that before I start screwing around with my inventory at all. It's tracking me. It's a deformed amalgamation of man and animal. I hope it's not a man-bear-pig. Those things are awful. Grotesque humanoid covered in fur and a torn jumpsuit. Well, that's a little bit terrifying. Fortunately, we're in a bus. And it killed a huge frog. Now, a huge frog fucked us up pretty good yesterday, so... Interesting. How's our fuel doing? Pretty good. We're still on the tank that's draining. There's a little hidden cabin here, so I'm going to get out briefly. There's no enemies within sight, so I'm not too worried about that. Nothing of interest whatsoever here. So let's go. Eat some cashews while driving. That was a terrible idea. uh. I don't feel like latency would have much to do with physical distance. Latency on the internet is, latency due to distance would be measured in the hundreds of milliseconds, not in the seconds. Put it that way. Ventilation shutters. Wonder if that's some sort of secret lab or something crazy like that. Nothing on the map. I think it's totally worth checking out, but I'm going to see what's at the end of this road first. I am a little bit worried about the giant wasps. There is a fork here. Now all we need is a spoon. Oh, this just goes up to the skate park we saw earlier, so that'll be filled with baddies, but nothing interesting at all for us. It's really a pain in the ass to get turned around in this thing. There we go. What are you? A normal car. No wheels. That's a shame. I would definitely trade this bus for a car in a second. Oh, this is a long road. Another farmhouse. Rural house, I see. I should have made a note of that ventilation shaft, or I should have, like, checked it out or something, but I'm just gonna guess where it was. Not sure if that's how to spell ventilation, but oh well, it'll do the trick. Oh, did not mean to start you. We should probably be storing our stuff and also checking out these seats. We never did that. Nothing useful, nothing useful, nothing useful. Baseball bat, you say? Ooh. I think that's a better weapon than our spear. So, I believe... Yeah, this is a big trunk. So let's put all our food and books, at least, in the trunk. Oh, we never did drop that rein and tackle we picked up earlier when we were trying to tame a horse before we decided to murder them instead. I think we made the right choice. They were delicious. Might as well just store some of this stuff and pick it up later. Good enough. Some halfway decent books. One survival book and one cookbook. More cookbook. Breads. An orange. Biscuits. Bread. Not much food, but a little bit. Cooking oil. We'll take one of those jugs. Soy sauce. Pasta. Sugar. Garlic. Okay. If we had some more books, I'd consider sticking around here for a while, but as it is, we'd be very, very bored. So let's move on. Oh, and that is the end of the road. Okay. Oh, come on. This thing. Jeez. Such a pain in the butt to maneuver. At least we can check out the vent now. Where is that wasp? It's below us. Okay, you know what? I am going to be a little bit more careful and go around this side to dodge the wasp. Okay. Really? I bet we could, like, if we had the pickaxe, we could get into this thing, and there would be, like, some sort of a hatch or something down here, I bet. We did mark off just the right spots, so that's fine. Actually, now that I think about it, where was that pickaxe? It was way up here, eh? Yeah. If we had the bus nearby, we could always store the pickaxe in the bus, but that ship has sailed, unfortunately. I'm not entirely confident on keeping this bus for very long. How's the gas doing? Oh, we are now out of gas in our broken tank, and we are wearing through the other tank fairly quickly. We should probably stop in for a rubber hose next time we're at some sort of cabin or farmhouse. We should have thought of that before. Hey, look at this. That might be working. Oh, no wheels again. Okay, never mind. A Grecan and Amigo. They have killed many zombies. And a scientist? Interesting. Man, if we could get, like, some ID cards here, that would be so sweet. There's a screwdriver set. That's definitely worth picking up. What else? Not much else, actually. No ID cards. Okay, well, let's be smart about this and kill these baddies in ways that they cannot kill us. Like with our bus. Amigo has not died, but the Graken did. There we go. Now the Amigo is also dead. We destroyed a few items, but that's perfectly okay. Our bus also took, like, a lot of damage. We might have thought to ram it at slightly slower speed to avoid utterly destroying parts of our bus. But it looks like the engine and the battery are fine, and that was the most important thing. And the tank did take a bit of damage, but not enough to make it drain. At least I think it did. It might have already been that damaged. I'm not sure. Not too worried about these two zombies, though I should have probably at least dropped my sling, but oh well. Oh, there we go. That wasn't so bad. Screwdriver set. Perfect. Hydrogen canister. Could be heated to plasma, you say? I have no idea what that's for, but it sounds like it might be for some sort of fancy, like, space gun. I like space guns. Filter mask is probably worth picking up, even without filters. Maybe not, but eh. Peripheral electrode. Well, it's tiny. Can be spliced into the smaller nerves of the human body. Sure. I like splicing things. Might as well take the water, I guess. And there we go. I think that was worth a stop, even though we damaged our bus. This time I'm going to be a bit smarter, though. Let's read these first, so we make sure we mark that we have them. Then I will dump at least a good chunk of this stuff here. Should put on that headlamp and that tool belt, probably. I think that's good enough. Now we'll unload the makeshift sling, assuming it has anything in it, which I guess it doesn't. It has a hydrogen canister in it. Okay, well, let's do that. Then we'll drop the sling and drop the canister. Filter mask is useless without a filter, so whatever. I don't know why we even have scissors. Unload wooden needle. We don't need these crappy tools when we have better tools. So screwdriver and wooden needle can go away. All right. On we go. What are you? Last Man on Earth shelter. That is worth checking out. Got plenty of storage space without the sling. Oh, and I stepped in water again. That's going to make me annoyed. Pot is a wonderful thing to have with us. And this is, I think that's clean water, but I'm not sure. We have plenty of water either way, though. And we have all of these things already. Power cutter? What's that? Gas-powered saw with a diamond blade? That'll have a really high sawing capability, I assume. Where's the thing that says what its sawing is? Weird. Now, do I have the screwdriver set on hammer on? I don't have the screwdrivers. I'm going to pick up the screwdriver temporarily because I want to disassemble a fridge. Sewing technique for designers, that is amazing. That makes this whole thing worthwhile. So we definitely need the hose out of the fridge. So let's turn on our reading light and deconstruct the fridge. What? Oh, it was on before. Okay. Anything else we want here? Probably not, eh? Get all this other stuff pretty easily. Might be worth making a brazier if we can. Yes, we can. Good stuff. And we want the hose. Okay. That was worthwhile. Now let's close the reading light. I'll take the messenger bag, I guess. And I'll take the briefcase, even though I let one go earlier without taking it, just because it gets a lot of plastic when you disassemble it, so it's solid. Now, I think we have full antibiotics already. No, maybe not. I think that was the last game. Might as well take it. Okay, we're finding some stuff in here. And I guess that's it. What are you again? Climb obstacle. What are you? Broken generator. Okay, sure. Well, that's that. It was a worthwhile trip. That's very good. I like that the sewing techniques. The rest of this stuff isn't super useful. Let's get rid of some of these bottles of medications and so on. Good enough. Kill the goose just because we can. Geese are awful, awful, awful creatures. Where's that zombie scientist? I think we probably want to try running him down just to see what we can get from him. There is a body site up here, and because there's a scientist next to the body site, I am actually going to check it out, because if we can get a science ID card, that would be amazing. Now, we did not take off the messenger bag. We probably should have. Whatever. It's fine. Come on. And we stepped in the water again. Didn't even see him coming. Come on. Oh, there's multiple ones. And there's a Kraken. That's not ideal. We're being kind of flippant about our stamina right now with all this running, but I think that's fine. Mostly. Oh, come on, no. Not our leg. Anything but our leg. I don't mean that. Hydrochloric acid. I don't really think there's any particular use for that at the moment. Yeah, that's fine. Cerebral booster CBM. +2 intelligence once we get good enough to install it. That is a fantastic find. Even though we can't quite use it yet. Let's get as much stamina as we can. Oh, come on. Die. You know how to die, right? It's like living, only slightly less effective. Okay. Man, that CBM's a fantastic find. It's wonderful. Let's drop the spear until we can get the leg. Oh, my hands are too encumbered. Of course they are. Just like earlier. Tactical gloves off. Get the leg patched up. Come on, leg. There we go. What? Didn't I take the tactical gloves off? Where are they? Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay, then. Sure. Forked spear. A soldering iron. Well, that's well worth picking up. This was definitely worth a trip outside of our bus. What we really, really, really want is an ID card, but... Autonomous surgical scalpels. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. I mean, it's not nearly as good as the last one we found, but I'll take it. I should consider like taking apart these boots to get a little bit of leather. Oh, it's deep water, isn't it? Okay, well, whatever. Boots and boots. Butcher. Okay, let's. Yeah, we're not tempting fate with a huge wasp. That's not a thing that's going to happen. Okay, we'll take the one leather patch that we got out of that, and we will jet, though. Oh, we didn't get the soldering iron yet. It's over there. Okay, sure. Maybe we will tempt fate here. Is there anything else we missed? Anti-glare compensators? That's totally worth grabbing. You know, I would trade any of these things except for the intelligence boosting CBM for an ID card, but still, that's a pretty happy science site, considering. I think that's good. At this point, I don't care about being more wet. I'm wet enough. Apparently, we didn't mark the bus to remember its location. Let's do that before we leave it somewhere and totally forget where all our stuff is. Okay. How are we doing on gas? 2 liters. Hopefully we'll find some diesel vehicles soon. That's a bridge. I'm going to leave that alone for now. We'll come back to it. It's another farm. That's good. Has silos. Love silos. Wish I had the pickaxe again. We could get like an unlimited amount of food out of that if we'd had one, but oh well. Probably would have been worth just dropping the spear and picking up a pickaxe now that I think a little bit more clearly about it. Nothing in sight. However, this road does continue to the north, so we face a question. Do we go over the bridge and go back south, or do we keep going north? I think I'm probably going to keep going north. I don't know. Don't have too much reason not to, I guess. There's a car. What are you? No wheels. Boo. Otherwise, it's like kind of perfect. Looks like the gas tank's broken too. No wheels and broken gas tank. Oh well. Spitter zombie. It's a drug site. It's a lot of cocaine. We already have some cocaine, and although cocaine is more useful and better in all possible ways when it is joined by more cocaine, I think we're okay. I don't think it's worth facing down a spitter zombie, and I don't particularly want to damage my bus even more by running down things that won't really help me. So let's continue. That's right, spitter zombie, just spit at the Kraken. What are you? Oh, a research facility. I see, I see. Is this one of those ones that we can actually get into without an ID card? Perhaps. Those perfect quality hippie vans? Should I tempt fate? I am very, very tempted to try to get into this research lab. It could be our death, but at the same time, if it's not our death, it could be a chance to get a lot of very excellent starting gear. Okay, CJ, well, if you want me to do it, I guess I have to. I am completely useless in the face of peer pressure. So what's going on with those zombies I found? I was waiting for them to follow me, and then I was going to run them down. I guess they're stuck on the... Okay, here comes one. I don't know what happened to the scientist. Taking my mirror off. And my headlight. You bastard. Okay. We're right next to the corpse, as it turns out, so let's just stop here. We can get items on the ground. Nothing interesting, okay. This bus has seen better days. But that's all right. What was that? Oh, we still have a briefcase. Wow, we fought all those battles with a briefcase in hand. That was not smart. Floor trunk is now full. So we'll have to put the briefcase in the other floor trunk. Okay, we have 2 guns and a spear. What could possibly go wrong? A flaming eye. Huh. I had to ask what could go wrong, didn't I? Fortunately, it did not look at us. Okay. And now it's like whizzing around all over the place up there. Actually. Stop damaging my bus. Can't you tell it's already damaged enough without your help? Jeez. These scientists. Okay, laptop computer. We don't have one of those. Might as well grab it. It'll eventually be useful. And I think we can make a control laptop just like the good old days. Antidepressant. You never know when you might get terribly depressed by all of this pain and suffering and death surrounding us. So now the question becomes, do we tempt the eyes? Now, I'm certain that the smart choice is to run away. But I've never been known as that smart of a cat, really. Did we actually pick up that filter mask earlier? We should have. I think it's probably in the other trunk. There it is. Cool. So now we have a filter mask. Catch our breath. Let's arm ourselves with the big gun. See if we can kill this eye without getting anywhere near it. Oh no, it stared at us. That's the worst thing. So that was bad. We also will not be able to drive any of these cars out of here. That's for sure. So I think what we have to do is just kind of like hang around the entrance, get stared at a whole bunch by the flaming eye. Hope we don't get like some horrible fungal infection out of it or something even worse. Oh, come on. I thought I had the spear. Okay, that's just made a bad situation worse. Yes, it has. Wow. Now we are deeply concerned that we might be surrounded very, very quickly by enemies that will come running thanks to our gunshot. So far, so good. Only 2 scientists that we can easily deal with. I like how zombies bleed to death now. It's like, seems not really consistent with what I've heard about zombies in the past, but, you know. Nuclear physics made easy. Sweet. That probably has some great recipes in it. Plutonium fuel cell recipe. Sure, but it gets our electronics skill to 7. That's super useful. We don't have very many batteries, so we'll take that one. I feel like the eye has chased the zombies away for the most part, or vice versa. There's another zombie scientist coming from the north. We welcome you, zombie scientist. You will add to our collection of corpses lying on the side of the road. Oh, come on, our forked spear. But we like that forked spear. Did we forget the baseball bat? We found a baseball bat, but we totally didn't pick it up, did we? That's annoying. An oversight. Another soldering iron. We got one already, right? I think so. Okay, I'm just going to double check because I really don't want to, like, not have a soldering iron because they're super important. Yes, we have one. Good. Let's drop off some stuff while we're here. Seems fine. What are we warm at? Torso only, eh? We're wearing 2 headlamps. Come on. No one needs 2 headlamps. I don't mind our torso being a bit warm. Don't know where the eye went, but it's not here, and that's half the battle. If only we had a shovel. We did find a shovel earlier, but I don't think we grabbed it. We could maybe use the bus to, like, ram over all this stuff and clear the way and then take one of these nice small little cars out. That's probably worth doing if it's possible. Can you ram through wreckage? Probably, I guess. Well, that's a lot of zombies. I say we run. See if we can hook a bunch of these on the wall. 2 is fine. I have a feeling we're not actually going to get into this lab. Our spear will die a beaten and broken death, and we have no armor or really any way to sustain attacks that we can't kite. Oh, come on. Just... There you go. Dissecting microscope. That should be able to get us some lenses. Yeah, 4 high-quality lenses. I'm definitely taking that. Only needs a screwdriver 1, and we can build a telescope out of its parts. What? Flaming Eye is right... What? Why is the Flaming Eye here now? At least the zombie security guards are chasing it. That's cool. No! Don't hit my eyes. Yes, I think probably, CJ, you're right, that the best thing to do is not to try to penetrate this, this lab. Just accept that the eye has stared at us a little bit, and that's terrifying, and that'll probably end up very bad for us in the long run, but there could be worse things, like death. And I'm tiring out. So that's not great either. Well, I'm going to just, for science, let's figure out if we can bash this gate down. And if we can, we might end up just trying to switch vehicles. This could end up terrible, but let's... Okay, that just stopped us. Let's go a little faster. I don't think that did much. How's our vehicle doing? Okay, the back end has been nicely mashed. Let's investigate. Oh, yeah, we should probably... But look, we did clear a lot of wreckage, didn't we? I think. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's just little bits of the bus. I think that's probably just little bits of the bus. I think we should run away. Flying polyp, you say? So I guess this zombie's along for the ride. We can always kill him later. Take a pause for the kill, and... The eye is now south of us. We'd like to avoid being stared at for a 3rd time. And we failed at avoiding it. Okay. Seriously? What the hell? What the hell? Okay, we're gonna back up. Oh, there's the zombie. Hello, Mr. Zombie. And we just crunched into a rock. Our driving skills are doing very well. How's the fuel tank? 1.3 liters left. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. We already investigated that body site. Let's go for the bridge. And hope we don't run out of fuel before we find either a new vehicle or another diesel vehicle to take the fuel from. Rollin', rollin', rollin'. Now we get to play the fun game of guessing what that eye did to us. The wind is very strong because the windows are missing. It's one thing about these new, like, multi-story bridges where the boats can go underneath is bridges used to be amazing for having, like, lots of vehicles on them, but I don't find vehicles on them anymore since they changed the bridges. It's too bad. Our spear is still, like, somewhat useful. Wish we had the bat, though. Oh, come on. Really? Boo. Oh. Just 2 more? We can handle that. Oh, come on. There we go. Hey, I wanted one of you to be trapped, not the other. Really should start thinking about spending the night somewhere if I'm tiring out like this. I'll take the pipe, why not? Make a crowbar out of that. Hey, it's a butcher knife. I was thinking that was a machete. And a bondage mask. You never know when you'll need a bondage mask, but I think we'll do okay without it for now. Well, that was completely useless. Not at all worth the damage done to our spear. Must be low on fuel by now. Yeah, 1.2 liters. This bus is going to grind to a halt before long. What's here? What is that? A paper wall. Interesting. It looks like a wasp's nest, but I don't think it is. A lot of gun casings. Nothing interesting, though. Probably a silo. This is a grain farm of some sort. It will certainly have a silo. Okay, let's stop here. See what this farm has to offer. This might be a really good place to stop for the night. Let's check out our books here. Nuclear physics, eh? What's over here? We have some stuff to read, not nearly as much stuff as I'd like, but that sewing techniques, I think we could get it to work for us if we just practiced sewing a bit first. This does not look like a particularly helpful farmhouse. Nope. Is there no silo here either? Yeah, that's totally a silo. Don't know what I was thinking. Of course it is. All right, what can we see? Not bloody much. There's a road going west, and that's about it. Well, that puts us at the 1 hour mark in this here episode, and that means it's time to go yet again. This was episode 2 in the adventures of the one and only Rubberneck Hale. I'll see you next time, YouTube.